Hello and welcome back to the classroom. I'm really excited to start diving into the Facebook ad tutorials with you. To be prepared up until this point, you should have watched the intro to Facebook ads video, and you should also have set up some of your ad audiences so that you've already saved audiences of the people you'd like to target. Alright, so to get started with today's tutorial, we're going to head into Ad Manager and we're going to use their most basic tool, the Ad Creator, to create our very first ad. In future lessons, I'll be diving into the Facebook Power Editor with you. This is a much more powerful tool that lets you bend a lot of rules that Facebook puts on ads. It also gives you way more control and the ability to duplicate ads in case you're running multiple campaigns. Now, we won't be getting into that today because I want to get you started with the easiest method possible. So, with that being said, you're going to head to facebook.com/ads/manage. And we're going to get to our Facebook ad dashboard. In case you need a reminder of how to get there, you can type in that URL, or from your main Facebook homepage, simply click on the downward triangle in the upper right-hand corner and select Manage Ads from the drop-down menu. When you're first taken to your Manage Ads page, you'll be asked to choose which ad account you'd like to edit today. Most of you will only have one name listed here, and you're going to click on the blue name that's listed. When you do that, you're taken to your ads dashboard. We went over the ads dashboard in the tour, but one area we didn't explore is the big green Create Ad button in the upper right-hand corner. So today, we'll be pressing that button. Once your page loads, go ahead and click the green Create Ad button. Your ad creation starts with choosing an objective. This simply means choosing your goal. Is your goal to get clicks to your website? To collect email addresses? To expose your brand to a brand new audience? To increase your page likes? To make conversions on your website? We'll be going over the most popular types of ads in future tutorials. But for today's tutorial, we'll be starting with the very bottom option called the Increase Brand Awareness ad. Increasing a brand awareness is a really good way to start an ad campaign that you're targeting to a brand new audience. This is usually a cold audience who's never heard of you before, and the Increase Brand Awareness campaign will simply get you exposure in front of them. They'll also begin to interact with your ads. That way, they develop a great impression of you, and in future ads that direct them to your website or your online shop, you're able to already have good feelings with that person, and they already have a little bit of brand recognition. So, when you click to increase your brand awareness, the next option that you have to do is name your ad campaign. As mentioned in the earlier lesson, campaigns usually have themes. This might be your whale watching campaign, or your yoga retreat campaign, or your Tai Chi young style training campaign. There are a number of options, but whatever it is, you're going to give the campaign a name. So this is our Brio Summer campaign, and I'm leaving the type of objective we set, which is a brand awareness campaign. This will help you remember what goal you created this ad under. When you hit the Continue button, you're automatically taken to Ad Sets. This is where you're going to assign your audience, determine your ad placement, set your date range and budget, and tell Facebook how to optimize the delivery of your ad. So at this point, you should have already created an audience that you'd like to target, and you will simply click under New Audience. You'll click the little arrow next to it, and you'll select your saved audience from the list. An ideal audience is going to be targeted to be smaller than 1 million people. So in this case, I had pre-put in a variety of different geographic locations. These are all grocery stores where this product is offered. And now I'm going to narrow our audience. I'm going to narrow the age range to 30 to 50. So again, I have a saved audience that I already created, but I have the option to continue to edit it or refine it based on the ad campaign as needed. So now I got my audience down to 1.3 million. And what I have here is they have an interest in central markets, and I'm going to narrow my audience, meaning I want to make this smaller. And so I'm going to say they must also be interested in organic foods or fitness and wellness. So let's take out health and wellness. Now let's see. Now I have an audience of only 26,000, which is fairly small. So I'll be adding to my list. It's likely small because I'm saying they must already like this grocery store, which is Central Market. So I'm going to begin to put in some of Central Market's competitors, because although they might ideally shop at that grocery store, or now they might be willing to shop at this new one because they have our product. So now I got my audience up to 290,000, and it's up to 300,000. So once you have an audience that's between 200,000 and 1 million, you're good to go on your audience. That's a nice sweet number where you've been specific enough to do good targeting, but general enough that you'll get the reach that you need to get results. At that point, you're going to hit Save as New if you want to make this a new audience. Okay, once it's saved, you'll be taken back to the ad set page. When you scroll a bit further down, the next thing that we need to do is choose our placement. Facebook recommends auto placement, and I want to strongly advise you don't do that. Advertising on Facebook's audience network doesn't get a lot of results, and neither does using the desktop right column ads. So I tend to want to select where on Facebook my ads will be placed. In this case, an increased brand engagement ad only has the options of a mobile newsfeed, Instagram, and desktop newsfeed. For this particular option, I'm fine with all three of those, so I will leave them. And this is where you're going to set your daily budget or lifetime budget. A daily budget is how much you're willing to spend each day. So you might say I'm willing to spend $5 over 10 days, and so you're willing to spend $50. Or you might choose to go with a lifetime budget, which says I'm willing to spend $50 over the next 10 days. And Facebook chooses to optimize your ad, showing it to people as often as they can until that $50 is spent. The one bit of experience I have to share on this is that sometimes with a lifetime budget, Facebook doesn't actually spend your entire budget until you get close to the end of your campaign. And it makes testing harder because you don't necessarily get that initial burst of exposure that you're looking for. So my recommendation is go with a daily budget. And in this case, we're going to run the campaign simply at $5 a day. The next thing you need to decide is what is the end date of your campaign. You can run a campaign without an end date. You can just keep running it indefinitely. But what I prefer to do is set an end date. That way I know when to pause my campaign, analyze my results, see how well it performed, and then I can choose whether to continue the investment or not. So I'm going to set an end date, and I'm going to set an end date 1 month from today. And you can see when I do that, Facebook tells me how much money I can expect to spend over that period of time. Again, we're doing a brand awareness campaign, and we can optimize the delivery of the ad, meaning we can tell Facebook what's more important to us. Brand awareness, so them showing our ad to people who are more likely to pay attention to them, or reach. Just give us the most exposure you can in that audience. So here, I'm going to stick with brand awareness for now, but in my editing process and optimizing process of the ad, I might choose to change that setting. Next, you can see with a brand awareness campaign, you get charged for impressions, meaning you're not paying per click here. You're actually paying to reach the people initially. So I'll end up paying for every 1,000 people reached. CPM is code for every 1,000 people who see your ad. All right, with ad scheduling, we're going to run ads all the time. You can only change this option if you're using the lifetime budget, and that would allow you to run your ad only in the afternoon, or only in the morning, or only Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Delivery type standard is great for 99% of us, but if you have a very time-sensitive bit of information you're trying to get out, you can choose to do accelerated delivery. All right, the last thing that you need to do here is you're going to name your ad set. So in this case, I'll say Central Market, Women 30 Plus. That just reminds me of who I'm targeting within my ad, since I didn't mess with any of the other details. Then I can hit continue and move on to creating the actual ad. When creating your actual ad, there are a few areas you need to deal with. So first, you need to choose the format of your ad. Will you be using a single image or a video, or perhaps multiple images in one ad? Multiple images in one ad is called the carousel post, and it's a very interesting way to be able to market different products at the same time. And usually what those might be are complementary products. So if you knew that somebody bought a bicycle from you, you might then show an ad to them to buy a helmet, bike tires, and a bike safety kit. So that way they can see products that relate to something they've recently bought from you. All right, so for this case, we're going to use a single image or video. And I'm going to be focusing on using a video today because videos produce a lot of engagement, and they also allow you to create an audience of people who have watched your video. So I strongly recommend to you that if you're trying to introduce yourself to a new audience, go through the extra effort of creating a super short video that introduces your products or service. You might take somebody on a little video tour of your studio. You might film yourself doing a yoga routine. You might take somebody on a walk through your shop to see the different things that you offer. Or you might video yourself introducing yourself. Or if you can, and this one is fantastic, try to get a video testimonial from somebody else talking about you and how good you are. That's always nice, is when we can hear from somebody else that they've had a really good experience with you. All right, so in this case, I'm choosing video. And I'm going to upload a video from my computer. Short videos do best, so definitely keep it under a minute, and ideally under 30 seconds. As your video loads, you can scroll down and you can begin choosing the other options of your ad. You need to tell Facebook which Facebook page this ad is for. If you run multiple pages, this is a really important step. You don't want to accidentally run an ad on behalf of the wrong page with the wrong information. So, if you want, you can create a new Facebook page at this point, but I wouldn't recommend it. You definitely want to use your existing Facebook pages when running ads. And you'll want to link your Instagram account. This is something we talked about in the 50-point Facebook page inspection. And also, it's fairly easy to do. You can just sign in using your Instagram. And if you have Instagram for business, it'll be automatically linked. Next, we need to tell them what the text of our ad is going to be. All right, our video is just about done loading. So in this case, I'm using my text, keeping it super short and sweet. There are two different ad styles that work in terms of the text that you pair with your ad. The first is super short and sweet status text. The second is a really long paragraph of status text. If you're trying to promote a course or sell some kind of product or even promote an event, you might need to put a lot more information in your text than one sentence. So you can do that. Just know that after like 3 lines, your text will get cut off and it will say see more, and somebody has to click see more to read the rest of your text. So in this case, we are going to add a website URL to the video. This is what will show at the end of the video. Display link is how you want the link to appear when it shows up. So if you're linking people to, say, a lead page or to a Webinar Jam webinar registration page, you want to put in your website here in the display URL so that you get that extra brand exposure. Okay, your headline is what's going to show at the end of the video, right before the link. So it might say something like, in our case, we hacked ice cream. We're going to have our newsfeed link description. We're going to keep it nice and short. And then we have the option called the call to action button. You cannot add call to actions, but you can choose from their list. And in our case, we're only getting the option to learn more. In other types of ads that we'll go over in the future, we'll have more options such as shop now, sign up, download, buy now, book now. So we'll go over those in the other ads. Lastly, you'll want to track conversions from your Facebook pixel. And at this point, you can preview the ad you've created. So you can see the ad itself. You can see what it looks like on the desktop newsfeed, the mobile newsfeed, and Instagram. And then at that point, you can place your order. So placing your order would activate your ad. Oh, and it appears that they had an error uploading my video. So I'm just going to go ahead and check on that. And I can see, I'll show you the error because sometimes you're going to get errors. When I was all the way down at the bottom, it said one error, there was a problem uploading your video. So I'm just going to scroll to the top, back where I uploaded. I'm going to choose my thumbnail. The thumbnail is the little image that shows right before the video starts to play. Video captions, you can have them appear automatically. That would mean they're going to auto-detect your voice. Sometimes there's errors, sometimes there's not. And in our case, I'm going to have no captions because we don't actually use any words, we just have music. And so now I'm going to go back and hit my place order button. Once your order is done, you'll get a message that says your order has been placed and that it's currently in review. All ads need to sit in review for a short period of time with Facebook to make sure they adhere to the ad guidelines. And you should receive a notification when your ad is approved, or when you go back to your main ad dashboard, you'll be able to see your ad, and here in the delivery section, it'll switch from pending review to active when your ad has gone live. All right, so that's how to create a basic brand awareness ad using videos with the basic Facebook Ad Manager. It took us less than 25 minutes, and that was with all the instruction and demo. So I highly recommend you give this a try, even if it's with a small budget, just to get familiar with the tool. That way, when we move into our next lessons using Power Editor, you'll be ready for that new, more advanced platform. Have a fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.